Thanks, Goose. It's pretty rare that we see smartphone games ported to PC, and it's rarer still for them to look as good as Oceanhorn, Monster of Uncharted Seas.
His thoughts got polluted, and his heart could not take the fall of his kingdom.
Guys, I'd heard such great things about the original Oceanhorn, but I never got a chance to play it on the touchscreen, so I was keen to dive into this PC version. You play a young boy whose father disappeared battling the monstrous Oceanhorn. Your first task is to explore a small island. But even just a few minutes in, I started to notice something very familiar about this game.
Ah, yes, we should address the green-capped elephant in the room.
Affirmative. The Zelda series is immensely respected and has influenced many RPGs over the years, but I calculate this game is the closest yet to directly emulate Zelda's gameplay mechanics.
Yeah, I was stunned at the similarities. In fact, I was thinking it would be fun if we could see how far we could get describing this game using only the features they've copied from the Zelda series, specifically the Wind Waker.
Good idea, Hex. I'll go first if you don't mind. Darren, can you keep count while we go through these?
Affirmative!
All right, here we go. You play as a young boy, living on a small island, who turns out to be the chosen one that will save the world from evil.
3.
As you explore, you'll discover dungeons,
4.
packed with puzzles,
5.
but to help you survive your quest, you'll find a sword
6.
and shield
7.
in a chest.
8! Impressive, Barjo. Especially the way you finished with a hat trick. All right, your turn, Hex.
Okay, well, let's start with his sword. As well as slashing enemies with it,
9.
he can cut grass
10.
to find hidden items like money
11.
and health hearts.
12.
He can even charge up a spinning attack with it too.
13.
Plus, his shield can bounce projectiles back at enemies.
14.
But before long, he receives guidance from an old man.
15.
For setting sail.
16.
Once on the ocean, he'll collect treasure.
17.
And fight octopi.
18.
In between visiting a series of islands.
19.
How did I do, Darren?
Nicely done, Hex. You outscored Barjo, but you both still missed quite a few. Just like Zelda, this game is filled with pots to smash.
20.
And iconic weapons like bombs.
21.
And the bow and arrow.
22.
There are even heart containers.
Oh, 23.
And most shockingly of all, a golden Triforce knockoff.
24.
Yeah, guys, there are so many ideas here that have just been copied from the Zelda series. Still, the most important thing is it's fun to play, and I like to think of it more as a love letter to the greats. Plus, for a game made by a small indie studio, this looks pretty amazing on PC. It runs in all of the resolutions, and it's got all sorts of bells and whistles like ambient occlusion and soft shadows. Oh, good graphics.
Oh, the ambient occlusion's lovely.
Yes, that's true. Plus, there are still quite a few new ideas that the game adds to the mix, like a stamina bar that's used for both sprinting and blocking. And this gives the combat real tension, knowing that you only have enough energy to block a few hits.
Well, as the saying goes, the rock is mightier than the sword, so I just chuck rocks.
It's actually the pen, Barjo. The pen is mightier than the sword.
Well, that seems silly. A pen is so small. How is that mightier than a sword?
Ah, Barjo, the expression isn't literal. It's a metonymic adage. It means figure of speech. I'll explain later. But getting back to the rocks you mentioned, I did appreciate the physics system behind these projectiles, which sees the rocks bouncing off enemies, allowing you to re-throw them. Plus, you can weaponize other items like pots and logs.
I liked how patient the locals were while I was practicing my throwing skills. Sorry. My bad. Watch out! Okay, I promise I won't do it anymore. One more. Last one. Last one. Okay, I'm done. No, I'm not!
I always feel sorry for the NPCs I have to put up with you, Barjo. I also really liked the magic system. As well as using the more typical spells like using fire to melt ice, you can get creative and summon heavy objects right above enemies' heads.
Sadly, the puzzles aren't anywhere near as creative. Almost all of them involve simply pushing blocks around, and rather than designing the puzzles well so that they can be solved from any point, the game uses reset buttons when you get stuck.
Yeah, that is a little simple. I was also frustrated with the way they used bombs. Loads of games use bombs to break walls, but there's usually a clue to let you know which ones are breakable.
Yeah, like cracks in the wall.
Yeah, exactly, but with this one, there's no visual clue at all. So the only way I could figure out that I needed to use a bomb was when I tried everything else first. Madness.
Well, that aside, I still enjoyed this game quite a bit. The combat was engaging and discovering all those new islands was good fun, so I'm giving Oceanhorn 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I had a great time with this game too, and if you can forgive how close it is to that Zelda formula, you'll have one as well. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars.
Now it's time for you two to answer some questions at the Ask Spawn Point desk.
Let's go.
Let me sail, let the Orinoco...